Okay guys, just a power hour tonight, and I've been pulling pieces off of it and trying to investigate what I'm seeing under some of the various spots. And what was under here was, no worse, no better than I expected. It looks like somebody brazed in a patch. I can see just a little bit of the bronze in there. Right here, this is built up quite a bit, and you can see it's actually cracked. So I'll have to sand all that out. Shouldn't be too big a deal. There's some bits of rust down here. It doesn't seem to be perforated. We'll see how we go when I sand it off. There's a bit of bondo there, I think, unless it's just some really thick paint. Bondo. Whoever was painted this car last really loved to slather on bondo where it didn't need to be, because they built up edges so that they didn't, it looked like the door gaps didn't align anymore. I'll show you what I mean by the other side. Like look at this. You can see that they built this up. I think they just slopped it over any rust that they saw. So one of the things, I don't know if you'll be able to see it, but this has a lot of these little bumps. There's one right there that you may be able to see just above my thumbnail, maybe right there. I'm just trying to get an angle. I can kind of see it in the camera. And those, I thought that they were paint bubbles, like the paint was separating, but it actually is hard. So I'm guessing that each one of those is a little rust dot. So I'm going to have to strip this thing right down to metal. I don't think there's any excessive bondo here. There's some right there. Needs to be dug out. So far, nothing unreasonably hard to clean up here. I pulled all the trim off. There's a little bit of, bubbling there that I should be able to sand out and neutralize and all that. But here's the really weird part. And I saw this before, and I was looking at the door and I was thinking to myself, why does this door look like it's so badly aligned? It seems to fit the frame well, but it was built up about 1/4 inch on this back side. And that was because somebody just made a mess of things back here. Once again, you can see some more bronze. And I don't know what they're doing. It's all banged up and everything under here. So I'm going to have to dig all this out, find out what's here. I don't know if they replaced this, I don't know what you'd call it, sail panel. No, sail panel's the back. I don't know what you'd call this. But I don't know if they replaced this. It doesn't look like it anywhere else along here. And that sounds like metal. It's only when you get it's into here that there seems to be a fair bit. Yeah, so I think for some reason they built this up. Oh, I can't open this side, but anyways, they built up, they gobbed a bunch of bondo in here as well. You can see a crack along there as well. So I think that was somebody's way of covering up rust, was they glopped bondo on. Not sure what this mess is. I won't know until I strip it all out. But we'll see how we go here. Should be fairly simple, even if I have to cut this out, hopefully, along here and somewhere along here. Hopefully not too far, because the further I go, then the more of a compound curve I get into, because it kind of goes like that. Well, maybe I gotta zoom it back out, but kind of goes out and then like that. There's kind of a bit of a hump, not to mention the fact you have that curve there. But if I can just cut out, a portion along the base of this and along here and come up along the edge there, it shouldn't be too bad to fix that one. The panel isn't all full of bondo, but you see all these little bits and pieces, and I just don't know what I'm waiting for or what I'm going to find. Now those were the only big surprises I've found so far. Anyways, I've got most of the stuff stripped off of this. I'm going to take this off. There's a big piece, so I was kind of avoiding it. But I was also planning on taking the, I guess you'd call this the engine hood, and this is a trunk lid, and that's a trunk, and whatever you want to call it. There's 3 opening things on this thing here, and I was planning on taking this off when I'm going to paint everything. I'll paint this separately. Maybe I'll paint it separately. I still have to decide on that one, but we'll see. It's got to come off anyways, because I do want to blow some paint into the trunk lid. because I was giving it some thought. You know, one of the guys mentioned, you know, are you going to change the color? It might make it sell a little better. And I gave it a lot of thought. And originally I was going to paint it white because I said, well, you know, if you paint it the original color, you know, you're being more authentic. But I'm not painting an authentic Porsche white. I was going to just paint it what white I could get. So I thought to myself, well, what color would I like to see on here? And actually, I was thinking about it. I'm going to paint it the same color as the truck here. So it's going to get a Viper blue. And I'm going to get rid of those plastic rockers that go along the bottom, and I'm going to make some nicer steel rockers that go along the bottom there. And probably paint them black. And I'm going to get, you can get these Porsche stickers that go along the whole side of the bottom of the door and along the fenders front and rear. And I saw those on eBay and they look pretty nice, so I'll go with that for my styling choice. I thought about putting a stripe on the hood, just a narrow stripe and a little bit wider stripe along the edge here, but I thought that maybe at some point you're doing too much and it just makes it a little bit harder to sell because you've done so much goofy stuff. But I think a blue color will be nice. You know, here's another example. You can see that this doesn't quite match. I think that is a door alignment issue because it doesn't look like that's built up there. So, okay. But you can see that this fender, it sounds like there's something in there. That sounds pretty solid. Anyway, so I'm not going to know a lot of this stuff until I start digging into it, unfortunately. But we'll see how we go. There are some things they know aren't going to be bad. They know the hood is good because you can see the back side of it. Anyways, I've been talking for 6.5 minutes, 6 3/4 minutes. I'm going to let you guys go. This was my power hour, and I spent 10% of the time talking about what I did. Anyways, I'll let you guys go. Later, guys. Thanks for watching.